Book of 2 Baruch. Chapter 61. And the bright sixth waters, which you did see, this is the time in which David and Solomon were born. And there was at that time the building of Zion, and the dedication of the sanctuary, and the shedding of much blood of the nations, which sinned at that time. And at that time, many offerings which were offered at the dedication of the sanctuary. And peace and tranquility existed at that time, and wisdom was heard in the assembly. And the riches of understanding were magnified in the assemblies. And the set-apart festivals were fulfilled in happiness, and in much joy. And at that time, the judgment of the rulers was then seen to be without deceit. And the righteousness of the commandments of Yahuwah was accomplished with truth. And at that time, the land which was then beloved by Yahuwah, and because its inhabitants sinned not, it was praised beyond all lands. And the city Zion ruled then over all lands and regions. These are the bright waters which you have seen. Chapter 62. And the black seventh waters which you have seen, this is the perversion brought about by the counsel of Jeroboam, who took counsel to make 2 calves of gold. And all the iniquities accomplished by the kings who succeeded after him. And the curse of Jezebel, and the worship of idols which Yashar'al practiced at that time. And the withholding of rain, and the famines which occurred until women ate the fruit of their wombs. And the time of their captivity, which came upon the 9 tribes and a half, because they were in many sins. And Shalmaneser king of Assyrians came and led them away captive. But regarding the other nations it were tedious to tell how they always wrought impiety and wickedness, and never wrought righteousness. These are the black seventh waters, which you have seen. Chapter 63. And the bright eighth waters which you have seen, this is the integrity and righteousness of Hezekiah, king of Judah, and the favor of Elohim which came upon him. For at that time, Sennacherib was stirred up in order that he might perish. And his wrath troubled him in order that he might thereby perish, for the multitude also of the nations, which were with him. When moreover, Hezekiah the king heard those things which the king of Assyria was devising, that he was coming to seize him and destroy his people, the 2.5 tribes which remained, and that he also wanted to destroy Zion, then Hezekiah trusted in his works, and had hope in his righteousness, and spoke with Yahuwah and said, Pay attention, behold, Sennacherib is prepared to destroy us, and he will be boastful and uplifted when he has destroyed Zion. And Yahuwah heard him, for Hezekiah was wise, and he had respect unto his prayer, because he was righteous. And then Yahuwah Elohim commanded Ramel his Moloch, who speaks with you. And I went forth and destroyed their multitude, the number of whose chiefs only was 185,000, and each one of them had an equal number at his command. And at that time, I burned their bodies within, but their raiment and arms I preserved outwardly, in order that the still more wonderful deeds of Yahuwah Elohim might appear, and that thereby his name might be spoken of throughout the whole earth. And so Zion was saved and Jerusalem delivered. Yashar'al also was freed from tribulation. And all those who were in the set-apart land rejoiced. And the name of Yahuwah Elohim was magnified, so that it was spoken of. These are the bright waters, which you have seen. Chapter 64. And the black ninth waters, which you have seen, this is all the wickedness which was in the days of Manasseh the son of Hezekiah. For he wrought much impiety, and he slew the righteous, and he perverted judgment. And he shed the blood of the innocent, and wedded women he violently polluted. And he overturned the altars, and destroyed their offerings, and drove forth their priests lest they should minister in the sanctuary. And he made an image with 5 faces, 4 of them looked to the 4 winds. And the 5th was on the top of the image as an adversary, so as to challenge the zeal of Yahuwah. And then wrath went forth from the presence of Yahuwah of hosts to the intent that Zion should be rooted out, as also it befell in your days. But also against the 2 tribes and a half went forth a decree that they should also be led away captive, as you have now seen. And to such a degree did the impiety of Manasseh increase that it removed the splendor of Yahuwah from the sanctuary. On this account Manasseh was at that time named the impious one, and finally his abode was in the fire. For although his prayer was heard with the Most High, finally, when he was cast into the brazen horse and the brazen horse was melted, It served as a sign unto him regarding the hour. For he had not lived perfectly, for he was not worthy, but that thenceforward he might know by whom finally he should be tormented. For he who is able to benefit is also able to torment. Chapter 65. Therefore in this way did Manasseh acted impiously, and he thought that in his time Yahuwah would not inquire into these things. These are the black, ninth waters, which you have seen. Chapter 66. And the bright 10th waters, which you have seen, this is the purity of the generations of Josiah king of Judah, who was the only one at the time who submitted himself to Yahuwah of hosts with all his heart and with all his soul. And he cleansed the land from idols, and purified all the vessels which had been polluted, and restored the offerings to the altar, and raised the horn of the set apart, and exalted the righteous, and honored all that were wise in understanding, and brought back the priests to their ministry, and destroyed and removed the magicians, and enchanters and necromancers from the land. And not only did he slay the impious that were living, but they also took from the sepulchres the bones of the dead, and burned them with fire. And the feasts and the Sabbaths he established in their sanctity, and their polluted ones he burnt in the fire. And the lying prophets which deceived the people, these also he burnt in the fire. And the people who listened to them when they were living, he cast them into the brook Kidron, and heaped stones upon them. And he was zealous with zeal of Yahuwah with all his soul, and he alone was firm in the law at that time, so that he left none that was uncircumcised, or that wrought impiety in all the land all the days of his life. Therefore he shall receive an eternal reward, and he shall be honored with Yahuwah beyond many at a later time. For on his account, and on account of those who are like him were the honorable splendor, of which you were told before, created and prepared. These are the bright waters, which you have seen. Chapter 67. And the black 11th waters, which you have seen, this is the calamity which is now befalling Zion. Do you think that there is no anguish to the Malachim in the presence of Yahuwah? That Zion was so delivered up in this way. And behold, the other nations boast in their hearts, and assemble before their idols, and say, She who has often trodden down others has herself been trodden down, and she has been reduced to servitude that reduced others. Do you think that in these things the Most High rejoices? Or that his name is magnified? But how will it serve towards his righteous judgment? Yet after these things, shall those scattered among the other nations will be taken hold of by tribulation, and in shame shall they dwell in every place. For as far as Zion is delivered up and Jerusalem laid waste, shall the idols in the cities of the other nations will prosper. And the vapor of the smoke of the incense of the righteousness, which is by the law, is extinguished in Zion. And everywhere in the region of Zion, behold, there is the smoke of impiety. But the king of Babylon will arise, who has now destroyed Zion, and he will boast over the people. And he will speak great things in his heart in the presence of the Most High. But he also shall fall at last. These are the black waters. Chapter 68. And the bright 12th waters, which you have seen, this is the word. For after these things a time will come when your people shall fall into distress, so that they shall all run the risk and perish together. Nevertheless, they will be saved, and their enemies will fall in their presence. And they will have in due time much joy. And at that time, after a little interval, Zion will again be rebuilt, and its offerings will again be restored, and the priests will return to their ministry, and also the other nations will come to honor it. Nevertheless, not fully as in the beginning. But it will come to pass after these things that there will be the fall of many nations. These are the bright waters, which you have seen. Chapter 69. With regard to the final waters, which you have seen, which were darker than all that were before them, those which followed after the 12th, which were collected together, belong to the whole world. For the Most High made division from the beginning, because he alone knows what will befall. For with regard to the evils of the coming impieties which occurred before him, he foresaw 6 kinds of them. And with regard to the good works of the righteous which should be accomplished before him, he foresaw 6 kinds of them, beyond those which he himself should work at the consummation of the age. On his account there were not black waters with black, nor bright with bright, for it is the consummation. Chapter 70. Hear therefore the interpretation of the last black waters, which are to come after the black. This is the word. Behold, the days are coming, and it shall be when the time of the age has ripened, and the harvest of its evil and good seeds has come, that Yahuwah will bring upon the earth and its inhabitants and upon its rulers confusion of the spirit and panic of heart. And they shall hate one another, and provoke one another to fight. And the base shall rule over the honorable, and the unworthy shall be extolled above the famous. And the many shall be delivered into the hands of the few. And those who were nothing shall rule over the strong, and the poor shall have abundance beyond the rich, and the impious shall exalt themselves above the brave. And the wise shall be silent, and the foolish shall speak, neither shall the thought of men be then confirmed, nor the counsel of the mighty, nor shall the hope of those who hope be confirmed. And when those things which were predicted have come to pass, then shall confusion fall upon all men. And some of them shall fall in battle, and some of them shall perish in anguish, and some of them shall be destroyed by their own. Then the Most High will give a sign to those peoples whom he has previously prepared, and they shall come and make war with the leaders that shall then be left. And it shall come to pass that whosoever gets safe out of the war shall die in the earthquake. And whosoever gets safe out of the earthquake shall be burned by the fire. And whosoever gets safe out of the fire shall be destroyed by famine. And it shall come to pass that whosoever of the victors and the vanquished gets safe out of and escapes all these things aforesaid will be delivered into the hands of my servant the Messiah. For all the earth shall devour its inhabitants. Chapter 71. And the set-apart land shall have mercy on its own, and it shall protect its inhabitants at that time. This is the vision which you have seen, and this is the interpretation. For I have come to tell you these things because your prayer has been heard with the Most High. Chapter 72. Hear now also regarding the bright lightning which is to come at the consummation after these black waters. This is the word. After the signs have come, of which you were told before, when the nations become confused, and the time of my Messiah is come. He shall summon all the nations, and some of them he shall spare, and some of them he shall slay. These things therefore shall come upon the nations, which are to be spared by him. Every nation, which knows not Yashar'al and has not trodden down the seed of Jacob shall indeed be spared. And this is because some out of every nation shall be subjected to your people. But all those who have ruled over you, or have known you, shall be given up to the sword. Chapter 73. And it shall come to pass, when he has brought low everything that is in the world, and has sat down in peace for the age on the throne of his kingdom, that joy shall then be revealed, and rest shall appear. And then healing shall descend in dew, and disease shall vanish. And anxiety and anguish and lamentation will pass away from amongst men. And gladness proceed through the whole earth. And no one shall again die untimely, nor shall any adversity suddenly befall. Unjust judgments and abusive talk, and contentions and revenges, and blood and passions, and envy and hatred, and whatsoever things are like these shall go into condemnation at the time when they are uprooted. For it is these very things which have filled this world with evils, and on account of these the life of man has been greatly troubled. And wild beasts shall come from the forest, and minister unto men. And asps and dragons shall come forth from their holes to submit themselves to a little child. And women shall no longer then have pain when they give birth, nor shall they suffer torment when they yield the fruit of the womb. Chapter 74. And it shall come to pass in those days that the reapers shall not grow weary, nor those that build be worn out from work. For the works shall of themselves speedily advance together with those who do them in much tranquility. For that time is the consummation of that which is corruptible, and the beginning of that which is not corruptible. Therefore those things which were predicted shall belong to it. Therefore, it is far away from evils, and near to those things which die not. This is the bright lightning which followed the final dark waters. Chapter 75. And I answered and said, Who can understand, O Yahuwah, your goodness? For it is incomprehensible. Or who can search into your compassions, which is without end? Or who can comprehend your intelligence? Or who is able to recount the thoughts of your mind? Or who of those who are born can hope to arrive at those things unless he is one to whom you are merciful and favorable? Because, if assuredly you did not have compassion on man, those who are under your right hand, they could not come to those things. For only those who are named among the numbered can be called. But if indeed, we who exist know wherefore we have come and submit ourselves to him who brought us out of Egypt, we shall come again, and remember those things which have passed, and shall rejoice regarding that which has been. But if now we know not wherefore we have come and recognize not the sovereignty of him who brought us up out of Egypt, then we shall come again, and seek after those things which have been now, and be grieved with pain because of those things which have befallen. Chapter 76. And he answered and said unto me, Inasmuch as the revelation of this vision has been interpreted to you as you requested, hear the word of the Most High, so that you may know what is to befall you after these things. For you shall surely depart from this world, nevertheless not unto death, but you shall be preserved unto the consummation of the times. Go up therefore to the top of this mountain, and there shall pass before you all the regions of this land, and the figure of the inhabited world, and the tops of the mountains, and the depths of the valleys, and the depths of the seas, and the number of the rivers, that you may see what you are leaving, and to where you are going. Now this shall befall after 40 days. Go now therefore during these days, and instruct the people as much as you are able, so that they may learn so as not to die at the last time, but may learn in order that they may live at the last times. Chapter 77. And I, Baruch, went away from there and came to the people, and assembled them together from the greatest to the least, and said unto them, Hear, O children of Yashar'al, behold how many you are who remain of the 12 tribes of Yashar'al. For unto you and to your fathers Yahuwah gave the law above all nations. And because your brethren transgressed the commandments of the Most High, he brought vengeance upon you and upon them. And he spared not the fathers, and the descendants also he gave into captivity. And he left not a remnant of them, but behold, you are here with me. If, therefore, you direct your ways aright, you also shall not depart as your brethren departed, but they shall come to you. For he is merciful whom you worship, and he is kind in whom you hope, and he is true, so that he shall do good and not evil. Have you not seen here what has befallen Zion? Or do you perchance think that the place itself had sinned, and that on this account it was overthrown? Or that the land had wrought foolishness, and that therefore it was delivered up? And do you not know that on account of you who did sin, the one who did not sin was overthrown? And on account of those who wrought wickedly, the one who has not gone astray has been delivered up to the enemies. And the whole people answered and said unto me, So far as we can recall the good things which Yahuwah of hosts has done unto us, we do recall them. And those things which we do not remember he in his mercy knows. Nevertheless, do this for us your people. Write also to our brethren in Babylon a letter of doctrine, and a scroll of hope, that you may strengthen them also before you depart from us. For the shepherds of Yashar'al have perished, and the lamps which gave light are extinguished, and the fountains have withheld their stream from which we used to drink. And we are left in the darkness, and amongst the trees of the forest, and in the dryness of the desert. And I answered, and said unto them, Shepherds and lamps and fountains come from the law, and though we depart yet the law abides. If therefore you have respect to the law, and are intent upon wisdom, a lamp will not be wanting, and a shepherd will not fail, and a fountain will not dry up. Nevertheless, as all of you have said unto me, I will write also unto your brethren in Babylon, and I will send it by means of men. And likewise I will write in like manner to the 9 tribes and a half, and send it by means of a bird. And it came to pass on the 21st day in the 8th month that I, Baruch, came and sat down under the oak under the shadow of the branches, and no man was with me, but I was alone. And I wrote these 2 letters. One I sent by means of an eagle to the 9½ tribes. And the other I sent to those that were at Babylon by means of 3 men. And I called the eagle, and spoke these words unto it. The Most High has created you that you should be higher than all birds. And now go and tarry not in any place, nor enter a nest, nor settle upon any tree, till you have passed over the breadth of the many waters of the Euphrates River, and have gone to the people that dwell there, and cast down to them this letter. Remember moreover, that at the time of the flood, Noah received from a dove the fruit of the olive when he sent it forth from the ark. Yea, also the ravens ministered to Elijah, bearing him food, as they had been commanded. Solomon also, in the time of his kingdom, whithersoever he wished to send or seek for anything, commanded a bird to go thither, and it obeyed him as he commanded it. And now let it not weary you, and turn not to the right hand nor the left, but fly and go by a direct way that you may guard the command of Yahuwah according as I said unto you. Chapter 78. These are the words of the letter which Baruch the son of Neriah sent to the 9.5 tribes, which were across the Euphrates River, in which these things were written. This is what Baruch the son of Neriah say to the brethren who were carried into captivity. Mercy and peace be with you. I bear in mind, my brethren, the love of him who created us, who loved us from the beginning, and who never hated us, but on the contrary chastised us. And truly, I know that behold, all we the 12 tribes are bound by one bond, inasmuch as we are born from one Father. Wherefore I have been the more careful to leave you the words of this letter before I die, so that you may be comforted regarding the evils which have come upon you, and that you may be grieved also regarding the evil that has befallen your brethren. And again also that you may justify his judgment which he has decreed against you, that you should be carried away captives is a righteous judgment, for what you have suffered is smaller than what you have done, in order that, at the last times, you may be found worthy of your fathers. Therefore, if you consider that you have now suffered those things for your good, in order that you may not be condemned at the end and be tormented, then you will receive eternal hope. And if above all you destroy from your heart vain error on account of which you departed from here. For if you so do these things, he will continually remember you, he who always promised on our behalf, to those who were more excellent than we, that he will never forget, or forsake us, but with much mercy will gather together again those who were dispersed. Chapter 79. Now, my brethren, learn first what befell Zion, how that Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came up against us. For we have sinned against Yahuwah who created us, and we have not kept the commandments which he commanded us to keep. And yet he has not chastened us as we deserved. For what befell you, we also suffer even more, for it befell us also. Chapter 80. And now, my brethren, I make known unto you that when the enemy had surrounded the city, the Malachim of the Most High were sent, and they overthrew the fortifications of the strong wall, and they destroyed the firm iron corners, which could not be rooted out. Nevertheless, they hid all the vessels of the sanctuary lest the enemy should get possession of them. And when they had done these things, they delivered thereupon to the enemy the overthrown wall, and the plundered house, and the burnt temple, and the people who were overcome because they were delivered up, lest the enemy should boast and say, with power we have overcome, to such an extent that we have even destroyed the house of the Most High in war. Your brethren also have they bound and led away to Babylon, and have caused them to dwell there. But we have been left here, being very few. This is the tribulation about which I wrote to you. For assuredly, I know that the inhabitants of Zion were a comfort to you. As long as you knew that they were happy, this was more important than the affliction you endured being separated from them. Chapter 81. But regarding consolation, hear you the word. For I was mourning regarding Zion, and I prayed for mercy from the Most High, and I said, how long will these things endure for us? And will these evils come upon us always? And Yahuwah Elohim did according to the multitude of his mercies, and the Most High according to the greatness of his compassion. And he revealed unto me the word that I might be comforted, and he showed me visions that I should not again endure anguish. And he made known to me the mystery of the times, and the advent of the hours he showed me. Chapter 82. Therefore, my brethren, I have written to you that you may comfort yourselves regarding the multitude of your tribulations. For know you that our Creator will assuredly avenge us on all our enemies according to all that they have done to us. Also that the consummation which the Most High will make is very nigh, and that his mercy is coming. And the consummation of his judgment is by no means far off. For lo, we see now the multitude of the prosperity of the other nations, though they act impiously, but they shall be like a vapor. And we behold the multitude of their power, though they do wickedly, but they shall be made like unto a drop. And we see the firmness of their might, though they resist Yahuwah every hour, but they shall be accounted as spittle. And we consider the esteem of their greatness, though they do not guard the statutes of the Most High, but as smoke shall they pass away. And we meditate on the beauty of their splendor, while they are soaked in pollutions, but as grass that withers shall they fade away. And we consider the strength of their cruelty, though they remember not the end thereof, but as a wave that passes shall they be broken. And we note the boastfulness of their might, though they deny the beneficence of Elohim who gave it to them, but they shall vanish away as a passing cloud. Chapter 83. For the Most High will assuredly hasten his times, and he will assuredly bring on his hours. And he will assuredly judge those who are in his world, and will visit in truth and inquire into everything with regard to all their sinful works. And he will assuredly examine the secret thoughts, and that which is laid up in the secret chambers of all the members of man, and will make them manifest in the presence of all with reproof. Let none therefore of these present things enter into your hearts, but above all let us be expectant, because that which is promised to us shall come. And let us not now look unto the delights of the other nations in the present, but let us remember what has been promised to us in the end. For the ends of the times and of the seasons, and whatsoever is with them shall assuredly pass by together. The consummation, moreover, of the age shall then show the great power of Yahuwah our ruler when all things come to judgment. Do you therefore prepare your hearts for what you have previously believed, lest you come to be in bondage in both worlds, so that you be led away captive here and be tormented there. For that which exists now, or which has passed away, or which is to come in all these things, neither is the evil fully evil nor again the good fully good. For all healthinesses of this time are turning into diseases, and all might of this time is turning into weakness, and all the power which now exists is turning into miseries, and every energy of youth is turning into old age and consummation, and every beauty of elegance which now exists is turning into withering and ugliness, and every proud dominion of the present is turning into humiliation and shame, and every boast of naughtiness of this time is turning into the shame of silence, and every vain splendor and insolence of this time is turning into voiceless ruin, and every delight and joy of this time is turning to worms and corruption, and every clamor of the pride of this time is turning into dust and stillness, and every possession of riches of this time is being turned into the Sheol alone, and every seizing desire of this time is turning into involuntary death, and every passion of the lusts of this time is turning into a judgment of torment, and every deceitful pretense of this time is turning into a proof of the truth, and every sweetness of ointments of this time is turning into judgment and condemnation, and every love of lying is turning into silence of slander. Since therefore all these things are done now, does anyone think that they will not be avenged? But the consummation of all things will come to the truth. Chapter 84. Behold, I have therefore made known unto you these things while I live. For I have said it that you should learn the commandments of Yahuwah of hosts, in which I shall instruct you. And I will set before you some of the commandments of his judgment before I die. Remember that formerly Moses assuredly called the heavens and earth to witness against you and said, If you transgress the law, you shall be dispersed, but if you guard it you shall be guarded. And other things also he used to say unto you when you the 12 tribes were together in the desert. And after his death, you cast them away from you. On this account there came upon you what had been predicted. And now Moses used to tell you before they befell you, and behold, they have befallen you, for you have forsaken the law. Behold, I also say unto you after you have suffered, that if you obey those things which have been said unto you, you will receive from Yahuwah or Elohim whatsoever has been laid up and reserved for you. Moreover, let this letter be for a testimony between me and you, that you may remember the commandments of Yahuwah or Elohim. and that also there may be to me a defense in the presence of him who sent me. And remember you the law and Zion, and the set apart land and your brethren, and the covenant of your fathers, and forget not the festivals and the Sabbaths. And deliver you this letter and the truth of the law to your sons after you, as also your fathers delivered them to you. And always ask and pray diligently with your whole heart that Yahuwah your Elohim may be reconciled to you, and that he may not reckon the multitude of your sins, but remember the integrity of your fathers. For if he judge us not according to the multitude of his mercies, woe unto all us who are born. Chapter 85. Know you moreover that in former times and in the generations of old our fathers had helpers, righteous men and set-apart prophets. Moreover, we were in our own land, and they helped us when we sinned. And they interceded for us with him who created us, because they trusted in their works. And Yahuwah heard their prayer and forgave us from our sins. But now the righteous have been gathered, and the prophets have fallen asleep. And we also have gone forth from the land, and Zion has been taken from us. And we have nothing now except Yahuwah our Elohim and his law. If therefore we direct and arrange our hearts, we shall receive everything that we lost, and much better things than we lost by many times. For what we have lost was subject to corruption, and what we shall receive shall not be corruptible. Moreover also, I have written thus to our brethren in Babylon, that to them also I may attest these very things. And let all those things aforesaid be always before your eyes, because we are still in the spirit and the power of our liberty. Again moreover, the Most High also is long-suffering towards us here. And he has shown to us that which is to be, and has not concealed from us what will befall in the end. Before therefore judgment exact its own, and truth that which is its due, let us prepare our soul that we may possess, and not be taken possession of, and that we may hope and not be put to shame, and that we may rest with our fathers, and not be tormented with our enemies. For the youth of this world has passed, and the strength of the creation is already exhausted. And the advent of the times is very short, yea, they have passed by. And the pitcher is near to the well, and the ship to the port, and the course of the journey to the city, and life to its consummation. And again prepare your souls, so that when you sail and ascend from the ship you may have rest, and not be condemned when you depart. For behold, when the Most High will bring to pass all these things, there shall never again be an opportunity of repentance, nor a limit to the times, nor a duration for the hours, nor a change of ways, nor an opportunity for prayer, nor sending of petitions, nor acquiring of knowledge, nor giving of love, nor opportunity of repentance for the soul, nor supplication for offenses, nor prayers of the fathers, nor prayer of the prophets, nor help of the righteous. For there is the sentence of judgment to corruption, regarding the way up to the fire, and the path which brings to Sheol. On this account there is one law through one age, and an end for all who are in it. Then he will guard those whom he can forgive, and he will purge them from sin. And at the same time, he will destroy those who are polluted with sins. Chapter 86. When therefore you receive this my letter, read it in your assemblies with care, and meditate upon it, in particular however on the days of your fasts. And bear me in mind by means of this letter, as I also bear you in mind in it, and always. Chapter 87. And it came to pass when I had ended all the words of this letter, and had written it carefully to its close, that I folded it, and sealed it carefully, and bound it to the neck of the eagle, and dismissed and sent it. Here ends the writings of 2 Baruch. Blessed are they that submit themselves to the will of Yahuwah, and guard it with all of their heart. For they shall see his face with joy and not in sorrow. Hallelujah.